Today on Tracey's Basement, why the hell haven't they made these Funko Pops yet? Welcome back to Tracey's Basement. Something a little different today. This is a 10 for 12 video. So what is 10 for 12? Well, it is a feature by fellow YouTuber the Lawn Gnome, and what it basically is every month he does a top 10 countdown of whatever theme he feels like doing that particular month. And depending on what kind of theme he's doing, sometimes he invites other people to play along. This month there is 3 of us in addition to him, because what we're doing this month is why weren't these Funkos made yet? Basically, your top 10, why the hell isn't this a Funko Pop? So first off, little shout out to the other people who are participating. First of all, of course, is the Lawn Gnome. This is his game. He is a pop culture YouTuber who reviews movies and TV shows and whatever else he feels like talking about. He also does these 10 for 12 features, Friday favorites, and a whole bunch of other stuff, whatever he feels like doing. And he also just tries to be a positive influence on YouTube, which is always great to see because there's so much bullshit on YouTube. Second is Kayla Rayne. She is absolutely obsessed with books, and her channel is basically about books. She does book hauls, book reviews, book recommendations, just all books all the time. So if you are into a lot of reading, definitely check out her YouTube channel. And the Astonishing Ashley is another pop culture YouTuber who talks about basically anything and everything that she loves. Cosplay and TV and movies, just everything that makes her happy, basically. You guys already know who I am, but if you want to check out one of those 3 or all of those 3 YouTubers who are participating in this video today, there will be some information in the description box below about where to find them. So, what Funko Pops am I flabbergasted don't exist yet? Starting off at number 10, I'm gonna have to go with the first Doctor. So part of this is just me being a huge Doctor Who fan and wanting to have all of the Doctors, not just a few of them. But it does kind of amaze me that they didn't bother to make the first Doctor. Obviously, they started out with the current popular Doctors, the ones that have been on TV in more recent years, but they also made the 4th Doctor because he was so popular, and because he exists, it kind of annoys me that the first Doctor doesn't exist. Because, I mean, William Hartnell made the Doctor. He was the first incarnation of the Doctor. He's also the 2nd longest running Doctor next to Tom Baker, who played the 4th Doctor. So it just kind of feels wrong to me that, all these new Doctors plus the 4th Doctor, they all get a pop, but poor William Hartnell doesn't. And maybe he's not, a hugely popular Doctor because he is the original old Doctor. But I personally would like to see him, and because there is a Doctor Who line, it does kind of flabbergast me that they haven't even really thought about making him yet. Number 9 on my list is actually multiple Pops. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't made more of the old Batman TV show villains. They did obviously make the Joker, but there are so many other villains that they could make. I would love to see a Riddler based on Frank Gorshin's version of the Riddler, a Penguin based on Burgess Meredith, sorry. And I think it would be really cool. They did have at one point Batgirl, and there was the Batgirl that was in the Black Friday GameStop box, but I would love to see the 60s TV show Batgirl with the sparkly purple uniform and the bright yellow cape. Based on Yvonne Craig's version. That would just be really awesome, and I'm surprised that they haven't made more of them because the Batman and Joker that they made and the Catwoman and Robin that they made, they're all so cool, and it would just be an awesome line to extend. I'm sure it would be very popular, so a little bit surprising that they didn't bother to make any more characters to that line. For number 8, I'm going to go with Snake Plissken from Escape from New York, mainly because it would just be a cool pop, but also because they made a reaction figure of him, so why not make a pop as well? They obviously have the license to be allowed to do that. And just such a cool character, he was totally the inspiration behind Solid Snake from the Metal Gear Solid games. By the way, that would make a great pop as well, Solid Snake. So yeah, just really cool character, really distinctive kind of look. I think he would make a great pop, so amongst all the other different movie pops they've made, kind of surprised that they haven't made him. Number 7 is kind of another group, 80s style Transformers. Never mind all that Michael Bay nonsense. I have a couple of those pops and they are cute, but I want 80s Transformers, that really pop culturally relevant nostalgia boost. I would love to have the 80s style Transformers. The real old school looking Optimus and Bumblebee, definitely Megatron, Starscream. I would love to have just a whole shelf full of 80s Transformers, and it kind of amazes me actually that they haven't made any of them, because, they made the Michael Bay ones, and nobody cares about Michael Bay. We want our 80s style old school Transformers. Number 6 really amazes me. There is no Lex Luthor pop. And there are multiple Superman pops, but no Lex Luthor. And I know they kind of seem to focus more on the more recent stuff that's happening, the TV shows and the more recent movies and the like, but still, there's so many Superman pops out there, why isn't there a Lex Luthor? And in general, amongst the DC line, there aren't all that many non-Batman villains. And in addition to that, there's certain characters, Supergirl. Supergirl doesn't have a pop. Non-Teen Titan version of Cyborg doesn't have a pop. He's a big character, not in the Teen Titans, so he doesn't have a pop. So yeah, I'm starting to get another group going here, but specifically, Lex Luthor amazes me that there is not a pop. For number 5, Dr. McCoy from the original Star Trek series. Why did they skip him? I'm guessing that they probably just picked one character with each of the different colors, but he is such an important character. He is one of the main characters that's on every mission, and they just skipped him completely. And he would be such a cool pop too, because you could have him holding his little tricorder medical gear with the little whatever you want to call it that he scans people with. And it would just be such a cool little pop to go with Kirk and Spock and Scotty. So it kind of amazes me that they skipped him. It makes me wonder if there wasn't actually a Series 2 planned that never happened, because it's hard to believe that they just completely threw away Bones. Like, such an important character. And while we're talking about Star Trek, actually the Gorn would make an excellent pop. Just throwing that out there. Number 4, Big Shocker Rambo. Come on. As far as pop culturally relevant characters go, Rambo is pretty high up there, and he'd be super distinctive with the red headband and the scraggly hair and all that stuff. And you could even make different versions of him with, bow and arrow, with one AK-47, rocket launcher. He's just so pop culturally relevant, and he would be so easy to tell from a mile away. If he was sitting on a shelf out of his box, you would know exactly who he was. So yeah, especially amongst all the other movies that they've made pops of, it's pretty surprising that that's one that they didn't grab. And while we're talking about movies, number 3, Terminator. Seriously, Terminator. Come on. They could make a whole series of Terminator pops. They could make T-800, T-1000. They could make Arnie all messed up in the face, all battle damaged. They could make a T-1000 exclusive who is melting. There's just awesome possibilities for that. And of all, again, so pop culturally relevant, and you would be able to tell them from a mile away. So, really amazed that they haven't made any Terminator pops yet. And sticking with the movies for one more, Indiana Jones. how can there not be an Indiana Jones? Again, he would be so easy to tell from a mile away with the hat and the whip all coiled up on his belt, and just such a huge pop culturally relevant movie, and it's so hard to believe that there isn't one of him. I'm sure they could milk some more with some of the other characters, but Indy specifically, it is really hard to believe that there is not a Funko Pop of Indy. And for my number one, can't believe this pop isn't made, I'm actually going with another group. The rest of the Power Rangers. I've complained about this before. I have the pink, red, and white Rangers, and those are the only ones they ever made. And I do have to point out that supposedly there are Power Rangers coming out, but we don't know if they're going to be re-releases of the old ones or if they're going to be new ones based on the movie. There hasn't been all that much information. So I'm sticking with, I can't believe they didn't make the Blue Ranger, the Black Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, the Green Ranger, and a Megazord. Like a 6-inch Megazord. That would be amazing. And I can't believe that they made 3 Power Rangers and not the rest of the team. That just is so ridiculous. So those were my top 10 for, wow, I can't believe they haven't made these Funko Pops yet. But there are a lot of honorable mentions of things that I would like to see that aren't necessarily super surprising that they haven't been made. So I just thought I'd mention a few of them. One thing is that I would like to see more Toho monsters. It's awesome that Godzilla is out now, but it would be cool to have some more of the monsters. Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah would make an amazing pop. You would have a hard time finding anything more original than him. And they would just look so awesome together, so it would be super cool if they would make some more of those. Some Mortal Kombat ones would be awesome, specifically the really popular characters like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. But, you know, Raiden, Reptile would be pretty cool. I loved Reptile as a kid. I would probably stick with the first 2 or 3 games. Those are the most pop culturally relevant characters. But, yeah, I think in general, Mortal Kombat pops would be pretty cool. And sticking to video games, I would love to see, like, some Legend of Zelda, some other really big Nintendo games. I don't see that ever happening, though, probably because Nintendo wouldn't be into it. They don't want to detract from their amiibos and all that kind of thing, but just thought I'd mention they would be really cool as pops. I would love to have a little Link pop. That would be so cute. A Jason Voorhees variant from Friday the 13th Part 7. Probably the coolest looking Jason, so it would be nice to see that. And it would be really cute to see pops made of the 8-bit versions of Freddy and Jason. NECA made the regular size figures all 8-bit for the video games, and they're so cool, so it would be really neat to have pop versions as well. I think that would be adorable. Red Dwarf is a kind of a niche British show that a lot of people have probably never even heard of, but it is amazing and hysterical, and I would love to have pops of those characters. 4 characters are Lister, Rimmer, Cat, and Crichton, and they are very distinctive. They would make amazing pops. Lister's kind of grungy and has like these dreads. Rimmer is a hologram who is always dressed very primly and properly, and he has a big H on his forehead for hologram. Crichton is an android with a really distinctive, blocky-looking head, and Cat is a humanoid character who evolved from cats. He's got fangs, but he's always wearing these super crazy, just amazing outfits, sparkly, bright colors. You could probably make an entire line just on all of his different suits. And if you haven't heard of the show, seriously, it is amazing. Look it up. Some of the shows are so well written, it's just unreal. They have this Future Echoes episode where just the writing is amazing. They keep seeing themselves from the future, so they'll be talking to each other, not realizing that that person isn't really there, that it's a future echo, and the conversations are amazing. And then as the show goes on, you see the conversations happen again. And I can't even explain. The writing is just... I can't believe they managed to make it all fit in there properly. And it is hysterical. It is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen, honestly. So I know it's not going to happen, but I would love to see pops of those characters because they are just such amazing characters. And the Samurai Pizza Cats. Do any of you guys remember that show? Oh my god, what a show. Not gonna happen. And they're not high enough up in pop culture to warrant pops, but they would make such cute pops. And if you don't know what the show is, go look that up too. And maybe Captain Planet. Just because. Just him, though. Okay, that's enough. So those were my top 10. Can't believe these haven't been made, plus a bunch of honorable mentions of things that I would like to personally see. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? What kind of pops haven't been made that just amaze you as to why they haven't been made? Share in the comments below. I'm interested to see what you have to say. And of course, be sure to check out the other 3 people who are participating in this video. Links in the description box below. Definitely give some love to Lawn Gnome, who is the brain behind this 10 for 12. And of course, as always, keep coming back for more of Tracey's Basement. And this is the part where you guys can give me some love. If you liked the video and you want to watch some more, here are some of the more recent ones. And if you enjoyed the channel, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe right below. Please keep coming back for more videos.